They stripped him of everything. They humiliated him. They scattered his family to the winds. And WWE thought we'd just forget about the most dominant champion in company history? Well, guess what happened backstage that's got the entire locker room shaking right now? The tribal chief didn't just show up, he brought his brothers back, and what went down behind those curtains is about to change everything at Survivor Series. If you're not ready for this reunion, you better buckle up because Solo Siko's fake bloodline just became obsolete. Let me tell you something right now, this isn't just another backstage segment. This is the moment that WWE has been building toward 4 months, and if you think Roman Reigns is coming back just to shake hands and take pictures, you haven't been paying attention to the last 4 years of absolute dominance. The tribal chief reuniting with Jimmy and Uso backstage isn't just family business, this is a declaration of war. Think about what we've witnessed over these past months. Solo Siko, the so-called enforcer, decided he could wear the Ulafala and call himself the new tribal chief. He brought in Tamar Tonga, Tona Loa, and even Jacob Fatu, thinking he could just replace the most legendary faction in modern WWE history. But here's what Solo forgot: you can't fake bloodline. You can't manufacture the chemistry, the history, and the absolute dominance that Roman, G, and Jimmy created together. And now the real bloodline is back, and every single member of Solo's knockoff crew should be terrified. The footage from backstage tells you everything you need to know. There's Roman Reigns, standing tall like the alpha he's always been, and flanking him are Jimmy and Uso, the greatest tag team of this generation. The energy in that room wasn't just reunion vibes. It was intensity. It was purpose. These 3 men didn't just acknowledge each other, they acknowledged that they have unfinished business, and that business is taking back everything Solo stole from them. Quick question for you in the comments: who do you think is more scared right now, Solo Siko or Centimeter Punk? Drop your answer below. Now let's talk about what this means for Survivor Series. We've got War Games coming up, and if you think WWE is putting together these teams randomly, you're out of your mind. Paul Heyman has been conspicuously absent from television lately, but you know he's been orchestrating this reunion behind the scenes. The Wiseman doesn't make moves without purpose, and bringing the original bloodline back together right before one of the most brutal matches in WWE isn't a coincidence, it's a strategy. Here's where it gets interesting. Solo's new bloodline has been running roughshod over SmackDown 4 weeks. They've been beating down anyone who stands in their way, disrespecting the legacy of the Anoa'i family, and acting like they own the place. But what happens when they step into War Games and realize they are not facing another random tag team or a thrown-together group of superstars? What happens when they look across that double ring and see Roman Reigns with his original brothers, ready to defend the real bloodline's honor? The psychology of this reunion is absolutely brilliant. Think about the journey we've been on with these 3 men. We watched them dominate for over 3 years. We saw them crush every team, every faction, every superstar that WWE put in front of them. Then we watched it all fall apart. We saw the family implode. We witnessed G finally stand up to Roman. We saw Jimmy torn between his twin brother and his tribal chief. We experienced the emotional devastation when Solo turned on Roman and took over. This wasn't just storyline, this felt real. It felt personal. And now we get to see if these 3 can put aside their differences and remember what made them unstoppable in the first place. But here's what has me absolutely fired up: this reunion isn't just about nostalgia. This isn't WWE trotting out an old act because they are out of ideas. No, this is about evolution. Roman Reigns isn't the same man who left. He's been humbled. He's lost his title. He's lost his family. He's lost his identity as the tribal chief. And Jimmy and G? They've had time to grow as individuals, to prove they are not just Roman's lackeys but legitimate main event talents in their own right. So when these 3 come together now, they are not coming back as the old bloodline, they are coming back stronger, more focused, and more dangerous than ever before. Drop a comment and tell me, do you think Uso can fully trust Roman again after everything that happened? I want to hear your thoughts. Let's address the elephant in the room, the tension, because we all know it's there, right? You can reunite for a common enemy, but that doesn't erase history. Roman put G through hell. The manipulation, the mind games, the forced acknowledgement, that doesn't just disappear because Solo Siko is causing problems. And Jimmy? He's been caught in the middle of this family drama for years. So the real question isn't whether they can work together, it's whether they can trust each other when the pressure is on and War Games turns into absolute chaos. That's what makes this so compelling. This reunion is built on necessity, not forgiveness. They need each other right now. Solo's faction is too strong, too numerous, and too ruthless for any one of them to handle alone. But when you're locked inside War Games and the violence escalates and bodies start hitting the cage, will old wounds reopen? Will Roman revert to his tyrannical ways? Will G stand up to him again if he crosses the line? These are the questions that make this reunion absolutely must-see television. And can we talk about the disrespect that Solo Sikoa has shown? This man really thought he could just step into Roman's shoes and everyone would accept it. He took the Ulafala, a sacred symbol of leadership in the Anoa'i family, and put it around his own neck like it was a participation trophy. He brought in outside muscle and called them family. He disrespected Paul Heyman. He disrespected the legacy. And now he's about to find out why Roman Reigns held that WWE Championship for 1,316 days. Solo wanted to be tribal chief. Well, the real tribal chief is back, and he's bringing his executioners with him. The WWE Universe has been begging for this reunion. Social media exploded the moment those first rumors started circulating. Fans have been creating fantasy booking scenarios for months, dreaming about what it would look like when Roman, G, and Jimmy finally stood together again. And now it's happening. WWE listened. They built to this moment perfectly, and now they are about to deliver what could be the most emotionally charged and physically devastating War Games match in history. Here's a fun one for the comments: if you could add one more person to the original Bloodlines War Games team, who would it be and why? Think about the implications beyond Survivor Series 2. If the original Bloodline comes together and absolutely destroys Solo's faction, where does that leave everyone involved? Does Roman reclaim the Ulafala? Does he want the tribal chief position back, or has he evolved beyond that? Do Jimmy and G finally get the respect they deserve as equal partners rather than subordinates? And what happens to Solo? Does he get excommunicated from the family entirely? These are the storylines that could carry WWE through WrestleMania and beyond. The Backstage reunion also sends a message to the entire locker room. It tells everyone that the most dominant force in WWE history isn't done. It warns every champion, every contender, every faction that the Bloodline, the real Bloodline, is back in business. Cody Rhodes should be watching his back. Seth Rollins should be concerned. Every single person holding gold right now should understand that when Roman Reigns reunites with his brothers, everyone becomes a target. But perhaps the most intriguing element of this reunion is Paul Heyman's role. The special counsel has been playing chess while everyone else plays checkers. He's been working behind the scenes, planting seeds, making connections, and orchestrating this entire reunion. Heyman knows that Roman alone is dangerous, but Roman with the Usos is unstoppable. And with Centimeter Punk potentially in the mix somehow, because let's be honest, Heyman's connections to Punk make this situation even more complex, we could be looking at an alliance that reshapes the entire WWE landscape. The intensity of that backstage moment wasn't manufactured. You could see it in their eyes. You could feel it in their body language. This wasn't three guys reading lines from a script. This was three men who understand what's at stake. Their family legacy is on the line. Their individual legacies are on the line. And most importantly, their pride is on the line. Solo thought he could replace them, and now they are going to prove exactly why that was the biggest mistake of his career. So as we head towards Survivor Series, one thing is absolutely certain: War Games just became the most anticipated match of the year. The original Bloodline is reunited, and they are coming for blood. Solo Sikoa wanted war. Well, he's about to get it from the three most dangerous